Hey everybody, welcome into another edition of Make Every Second Count Live with me, your host and international award-winning Make Every Second Count speaker, Jeff Marconette Jr. Now, I am so excited about tonight. We had to get a guest late last night, and I am very proud of the guest we got because he is amazing all on his own. So I ask you guys if you would please share this episode out. Invite all kinds of people to watch this episode. And don't forget to give us all kinds of thumbs up, give us smiley faces, give us frowny faces. Heck, you can even get pissed off at us. That's fine and dandy with me. Helps us trick the algorithm on Facebook or any of the other social media outlets that we're on. But with no further ado, I would like to bring to the stage Mike. How are you this evening, Mike?
Awesome, Jeff. How are you?
Oh, I am fantastic. It is great to see you, and it is great to be seen by you. So,
Like,
if you would like to take this away, and I'll let you introduce yourself, tell everybody who you are, what you do, and where you're from.
yeah, my name's Mike Damon. I'm a medically retired combat veteran. I'm from the state of Massachusetts. I did a lot of traveling, but I call Massachusetts right now my home. And what I do now is spend most of my time is I help mentor veterans to transition to civilian life, whether from Vietnam all the way up to the most current um, veterans that are getting out of the service. That's what I do.
That is awesome. I appreciate your service and then your continued service helping other veterans in their time of need. So I personally know from going through a severe car accident. I spent 2.5 months in a coma and 3.5 in the hospital. They told me I probably wouldn't walk again, but I am here now, and I know that each and every one of us can get through something, but it is going to require some growth. So, on this show, I like to show them that each and every person out there faces adversities or difficulties or whatever you want to call them. But you can listen to somebody else that has gone through something and take a lesson away from what they learned, which might save you from having to go through the same thing. So, like I said, I had to go through a car wreck, and I know you've gone through some stuff, and you've probably gone through quite a bit because I know a little bit about your background. So, if you would like to tell everybody a little bit of what you've gone through in your past, and I would definitely love that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like you said, is and that's one of my keys to recovery is taking a little bit from each thing that I've learned over the years. But what happened to me is I did 22 years of military service. I did about six active in the initial in the Marine Corps, and then I did National Guard until 2017. I ended up doing two combat tours and multiple natural disasters and stuff like that. And I didn't know for about 15 years I suffered from severe PTSD.
Oh,
And with the environment and being married and having a family, I seemed to be doing well. But when I did my last two combat tours, when I came back, I found out I was actually in really, really bad shape. One of my friends, good friend, a mentor, one of the best men I've ever met in my life, and my neighbor, who I did two combat tours with, took his own life. And
oh,
that came at a time where I was going through a divorce with my ex-wife. My kids were afraid of me. I was all that I was in a really bad spot. And then my life basically disappeared, collapsed around me. And I knew enough for listening and reading enough books about recovering, that I needed to do something about it. I could either get busy living or get busy dying was my mantra at the time. And so I attacked it full force. And about halfway through my journey, a good friend of mine said, Mike, you should write down what you're doing. Part of the process that I think was to give back. And I was trying to show other veterans that were struggling some of the pitfalls and stuff that I had done incorrectly and just offered them advice. And it morphed into me actually writing a little handbook on what I did to recover. And in a lot of aspects, other than the severe PTSD, I'm better off than I was 10, 15 years ago. And it's like you were saying, is it's work. There has to be a lot of change that comes within the self. And I'm sure that you'll agree with me, Jeff, is you have to let go of the ego.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
That
ego
is
has to
one
go
of the
away.
hardest
Yeah,
things to do.
yeah, it was. It was the let it go of the ego, because the stuff that we built around us that makes us who we are and our personality, it feels comfortable to us. And letting go of your ego is very uncomfortable, but it's essential, at least in some aspects. I mean, you don't have to become void of ego, but
Mm.
you got to understand what part of the ego are limitations. But I also believe one of my philosophies is that you need somebody to show you. You need somebody that's going to stand by you. Like what happened during my career in the military was I had a mentor. So I think veterans lose that when they get off of active duty, or first responders retire and police officers retire, because we're doing a lot with first responders now because we found out that the struggles were similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The major
can
loss of culture.
imagine that. Yeah.
Yeah, the major thing for that group, it's group's not specific, and these things happen to everybody, and the good rules will by, but they have loss of culture, which
Yeah.
can be devastating. Yeah.
It's that loss of brotherhood, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard
That
to
that
recover from.
has to be difficult.
Yeah, it definitely is. One of the fortunate things in National Guard is we don't lose them per se because they live nearby. But I deal with a
Yeah.
lot of veterans who did the whole career, short or long, on active duty, and now they're cast into an environment where they don't really have the community that they had before and
Yeah.
support system. Yeah. It's almost like a little kid going to a new school, but you're doing it as an adult and you have to function as an adult. It's really challenging, but it's
Yes.
doable. I did it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I hear you talking a little bit about a mentor, and you had a mentor. And how exactly can people find a good mentor? Because I mean, not everybody is going to be good, and they're not going to have good ideas. They're just going to be like, "Hey, you have to bottle up your feelings. You have to just let go of your feelings. You can't let anything affect you." How can you find a good mentor in life?
Well, one of the things in my organization, vetunite.org, is we're developing the system now to build a mentor. We built the guide for the individual person, but now we're building the mentorships. And I'm absolutely shocked and so ecstatic. The thing that we do is we
Somebody is having internet issues. I don't know if it is me or you. Can you hear me? Huh. Let's see. Can we get this back? I'll try to remove him and then add him again. Can you hear me? Um, huh. That's strange. Let's see. Hang on. I'm still trying here. Uh, I don't know. I'm going to message you, Mike. A little difficult. Can you go out and jump back in? Question mark. Hang on, guys. We'll get this because he's going to be a good one, I tell you. But you should check out his program at vetunite.org. It's great for vets. If you have a vet that is struggling, or even a vet that isn't struggling, show him or her vetunite.org so they can get hooked up with some other people. Huh. Well, oh well, no big deal. Technical difficulties, I guess, because he's not receiving my message either. But so if we go to vetunite.org, I will go to it here on the screen. And oh, he's back. Oh yeah, Mike's back.
Yeah, I don't have any audio.
You can't hear me.
No, I can't.
I
Can you hear
I
me?
can
Give me a
hear.
thumbs up if you can hear me. For some reason, I can't hear you. I don't know why. And my mic's not muted.
Can you hear me now? No. Dang it. Um. So I go down here, hit mute, unmute. Can you hear me now? No. All right. So we will go to settings,
Please.
go to audio. My mic is hooked up. Echo. Everything is fine. You still can't hear me?
Well, I guess it says, please, what's my biggest takeaway? Yeah. Please comment with your biggest takeaway. Oh, that's for the people listening. Should I just continue or just tell what I do? Okay, well, that's great. So, yeah, we're developing the mentor program now for veterans and first responders. The release of the book and our first workshop is going to happen in next week, actually, in Connecticut for a PTSD group. After that, we're going to build that program. We're going to build upon that. We have a team that's going to go down and evaluate me teaching like a class. Well, the military, we call them classes. It's a non-threatening way of just getting in front of people. And it's a class is how to become a mentor and how to be mentored. So there's a lot of things that are very familiar in that format, are very familiar to first responders and for military people. So that's it. And then we're going to leapfrog off of that. I already got calls from the National Guard in Ohio. I'm going to work with the VFW out of Western Virginia. Yep. And we're going to do stuff down in Florida. And these are places, as I was building this formula or this kind of guidebook, stuff like that, I had actually interviewed over probably 500 or 600 veterans from all different eras and asked them where their biggest challenge was. And I actually wrote it all down. And the takeaways I got from that was the main thing was predominantly with men is they don't really know what self-care is. So in an environment like when you have team environments, and when you separate from that team, or tribal environments where you're part of a tribe, when you go outside that tribe, it can be extremely challenging. Yeah, there's my website right there. It can be extremely challenging to understand what personal self care is. As many people know, is when you go to a new area, you do a new thing. Let's say you graduate college, or you move to a new high school. It's very challenging to find that support system you need. The other thing that I found was the fact that I
I think we lost his audio again. So, as you guys can see here on vetunite.org, there is collaboration, outreach, all kinds of things they do, mentoring through our 6-step process. They do self care, education, mentorship, peer support, service to others, and developing a new purpose on life. And that is really cool. So then we have the team here, and we will scan down this. And as you can see, Mike Damon is the correct creative director of vetunite.org. He served in the Marines and the Army National Guard for 26 years until he is medically retired. So he has done quite a bit in his life. And then we have the Chief Operating Officer of vetunite.org, and that is Tom Dorney, Tom Dorney, who we have actually had on this show before. So we will see about getting Mike back in here. Can you hear me? No. Huh. I don't know. Can tell me if you guys can hear him, because I certainly can't. Let's see. We'll go back here, and then we will also look at Travis here. He grew up in the Midwest before moving with his family to the South, and he has his own podcast and financial services firm. It's pretty cool. So this is just a little bit about what mentoring veterans with vetunite.org is. So then we will show you the mentor. This is just a form that you fill out. I'll show you the calendar. I know you've seen a calendar before, but hey, why not? You can see they have some rides and transition guide for veterans. Huh, interesting. Wish we could hear him. Alright, well, April, can you hear me? So let's go back up here and we will go to contact. This is how you can contact vetunite.org. So again, if you have a struggling veteran in your life, or even one that is not struggling at the moment, he might or she might struggle in the future, or he or she could help somebody else. So definitely give them a contact, and there you can email them at tomd@vetunite.org, and you can see they are based in Whitensville, Massachusetts, or you can call them at 1-203-913-3428. Again, the phone number for vetunite.org is 1-203-913-3428. Let's see if we can hear him yet. Can you hear me?
I can see you. You can hear me?
Yeah. You can't
Yeah. So if you
hear
want to
me.
flip through the website, I can explain to some of the stuff that's doing there for our last couple of minutes. That I think is the contact page. It's really hard to see. That was you can sign up to be a mentor. You can sign up to help, and if you need assistance too. See, the program is a little bit unique because we're not going to go. We see a problem and we have really good people with us that can identify with the root cause of it. So we have an example. We have a gentleman in Houston who was homeless, became homeless through a series of catastrophic events that happened to him, and we found the root cause of the problem, and he needed to be on Social Security disability. He didn't even know it. Right there, that's our shop to do it, and there's some unique pieces in there that help support our cause. Call that our swag page. Um, I'm actually a designer, so I designed a lot of the stuff that's in there.
Wow.
And there's our book,
Oh my God.
our guidebook is going to be released in there soon. That's pretty neat. I also run my own podcast. Those are about that setup there is the 6 steps that I use in the guide, and explains in a little bit of detail, about 10 minutes, of how each one functions and how they interact together. So I try to make it so that you don't have step 1 and then really step 2 or 3. It shows how they kind of link together. Like service to others is actually one thing where you volunteer and help other people. It actually helps you heal when you actually put yourself out there for other people, and that's a
No
good
doubt about that.
success principle. Those are the different organizations that we actually recently linked up to. Project New Hope is one that helped me when I was really hurting. They do retreats and stuff for veterans. Convene Communities is a community platform that's like social media, but it has tools for small businesses, and they're one of our affiliates. What else do we have? The different foundations that work with us. And we actually go in and actually teach the mentoring techniques to people that run their nonprofits so they can help their clients better and identify that, even though they're coming to them for XYZ, that they may need help with ABC. And then we get a lot of our
All right, guys. I don't think this is going to work tonight. But I want to thank you, and I hope if you have a veteran in your life that you care about, send them to vetunite.org if they need help, or they don't. Help them, or help them help somebody else. So we'll see.
hello.
One more time.
Oh, I gotcha. That's incredible. So, did you catch a lot of that stuff I was
Yeah,
talking about? A philosophy? Good.
yeah, I certainly
Yeah.
did,
It's
and
unique
I
in a way.
found it
It's gone.
very rewarding.
When you helped other
I
people or just
No, I found all your stuff very rewarding. It
Thank you.
teaches us a lot about life in general and the hardships that people face when they come back from the war or this service.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
But
suicide rate is astronomically high. I don't have a clinical background. I don't claim to be, but I think it has to do with loss of purpose. You know, look at you had a recovery that was challenging to you, and now look at you. You have a job. You have more than a job. You have a mission that you want to do and spread
yeah.
your successes with other people. And I think it's can be when life kicks you down a few notches, it can be difficult to find that. I never thought, imagine I'd be doing this. Not in my wildest dreams.
But you gotta
Right.
get back up.
Yeah. And a lot, I don't really believe the philosophy of the typical of, come on, just get back up and go at it. I'm one to like, I'm going to give you a hand. You got to get up. We're going to get
Yeah.
up together. Let's do this
Yeah.
together because,
Yeah, you don't have to
you
do
know,
it alone. There's plenty of people out
no,
there that are there to support you in many different ways. And I think a lot of
absolutely.
people struggle to see that.
Yeah. And I remember you mentioned something which struck me earlier is like, where do you find a mentor? And I recently have started getting a real estate. And there's a gentleman in my town who owns a lot of real estate, and he's highly respected. I went to him and said, "Hi, will you be my mentor and teach me about real estate?" He was flabbergasted. He said, "In my 50 years of doing this, there's only one other gentleman that asked me that question." I said, "Wow, that seems really sad that someone who was a gentleman who was highly respected, that not one other person came to him and said, 'Ed, show me how to do this.'" And
Yeah.
it's I'm very, very
that-
gracious because when people say, "Hey, I'm a veteran, I'm a first responder, Mike, can you help me with my life?" Um,
Yeah.
it blows me away because I say,
Yeah. That
listen, I made all the mistakes. I'm going to tell you what not to do.
yeah, that is profound right there that nobody had asked him to be a mentor to them and help them out in life. But I'm sorry, Mike, but we're out of time for tonight's show. But I need to remind everybody out there, including you, Mike, that you need to do me a favor this week, next week, and for the rest of your life. You need to make
Shocking to
every
me.
second count. Why? Because you never know when the seconds are going to run out on your one life. Hey, guys, I'll see you back here next Tuesday on the show where we try to help you through what you are dealing with in life. But until then, you have a great week and don't forget to make every second count. Thank you again, Mike. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy evening to be here with me.